Hello and welcome to Discourse 6 of the Voyager series. In this discourse today I'm going to talk about love and how love can help you to extricate yourself from the reality of the collapse. Now, I've come to understand in my spiritual practice that the universe is set up as a loving place. The universe doesn't intend harm or suffering upon anyone unnecessarily. Now, the universe is a very loving place, and once you can tune into that love, you become aligned to higher dimensional laws and you start to live in a place of karmic purity. In that space of karmic purity is a greater degree of love. So it appears the only thing that's stopping people from receiving the love of the ETs, the star beings, and to be extricated from this world prior to the collapse is being able to receive this love. So it's very important to be able to receive this ET love without resistance, because it can heal you of everything and show you the possibility of a greater transcendence. When you go even deeper into that love, you'll come into an understanding that these ETs that offer that love to you can help you to move from this planet and be taken to a different planet prior to the collapse. Then you don't have to suffer or be witness to any of the catastrophes that will befall planet Earth. So the way to receive this ET love is to live in your heart naturally, but it also means a bit more than that. It means like working to burn off all of your karma. It's about developing an awareness. It's about taking responsibility for yourself and striving to make that transcendence within yourself. When you have a sincere effort to walk this path, you'll be assisted by higher beings and ETs, and they'll be helping you behind the scenes. You may not see the ETs or perceive them at first, but they're still there. If you're on this path, you have ETs watching over you. Before they become manifest, they're still kind of like helping you out. And the way they do this is they simply reflect back lessons. So if you set an intention to meet these ETs and experience that love, that's a very powerful intention. The universe will hear that, and then you'll probably get some download of source energy, and this will like raise your vibration. And at the same time, it lift out of your vibration all kinds of things that are dormant karmic seeds that need to be released and healed before they pop. Now, when you kind of surrender to that process, you let go and surrender to the process of self-development and karmic purification, you receive more love as you go on, and once you become proficient at surrendering to your higher self, the universal mind, the source, then it will be very easy for you to receive love from the source, and that love will be very sustaining love. Now, I'm not talking about a sentimental or romantic love. You may perceive ET love in that way and feel a lot for them. You may have like a heart opening mystical experience, and you may have the experience of feeling some emotional aspect to that love, but that's not the love in itself, it's the side effects of it. The love of the star beings can be very strong, it's a very purified form of love, and to be able to see that, your body and your being needs to be fully open to it. It's the karmas that get in the way. If you have too much karma in the body, and the energy field is contracted, and there's only a limited amount of love you can then receive from the source. When you're in those spaces, life can seem somewhat challenging. When you're in the thick of a karmic knot, quite often you don't perceive any loving awareness there, but it's there. It's just that your awareness is like tied into your karma. So the way to experience the higher love more often in your life and to have the healing from it is to learn to be in the witness state. You don't get caught up with your mind into all kinds of karmic stories. You don't try and analyze what's going on too much. You don't invest too much mental process in trying to understand karmic dynamics. It's not possible to get rid of karma by using the mind. Karmic burning isn't a mental process, it's rather a process of surrendering into your higher nature. In your higher nature, there is no karma. Karma can't touch you there, so once you're grounded in that state, you're pretty much immune from karma, and then you're going to experience the love of the star beings pretty much all of the time. And a lot of what I'm saying in my course and writing in my books will start to make sense for you on a deeper level as you start to understand the truth for yourself. So it's a very strong lesson to let go of the mind, to let go of the stories that your thoughts make, and instead just to be and just be a witness to what is. Quite often, we perceive things going on in other people in the world around us. We can have all kinds of ideas and stories about it, and by doing that you affirm kind of these ideas and stories. Sometimes there can be judgments in there, and then you're basically perpetuating karma again and again. So it's very necessary to live outside of your head. It's not necessary to live in solitude. It may be for some people it's their path, but it's not absolutely necessary. It's not that you don't. It's not that you can't engage with anyone or have anything to do with out there. What's more important is that if you do need to engage with the outer, it's done from a heart space, it's done from a grounded place, and it's out of the head space. When you're grounded in the love, then you're not going to pick up any karma or get caught up in any other karmic dynamics that may be going on. It's your head that's the main fabricator of karma. As soon as you continue to affirm the same thoughts and patterns with your mind, then the same karma is going to perpetuate in your life, and it's going to be very difficult to experience that deeper love. Once you work on the process of surrender and just being in your meditation, your spiritual practice, you'll learn how to burn off your karma, but without getting caught up in the disturbing energies of it. Then you can purify your karma in the presence of source love, rather than purifying your karma by going through all kinds of hell in the outer world. You can burn off your karma that way if you want. There's a lot of trial and error. It's a bit of a messier path. It can cause you a lot of energy damage, and basically it will impede your spiritual progress. It's like a slow burning off, waiting until stuff happens in the outer that's unpleasant to deal with, and then trying to resolve what the karma is. The trouble is usually, by and large, it's then too late to burn off the karma without experiencing some kind of misfortune or setback. So one of the important things to do on this path at a very early stage is to get grounded in your source nature, is to deepen your meditation, to feel and be that source in your body. And that source, it can be a very steely form of wisdom. It may show you lots of visions about the clouds. It may show you lots of harsh realities about karma. Now, that on its own would be too harsh to perceive, so it's necessary to have that grounded out with love. Now, if you don't try and ground some love into your life, once you start perceiving the collapse and what's coming to planet Earth is going to be pretty intense, it's going to be steely, it's going to be tough for your body to integrate, and you can then have some very challenging experiences. You can also experience quite a bit of fear and a separation from the universe. So when those things come up, it's very important to balance out the deepening wisdom and visions that you're having with love. And the way you ground love into the body is naturally to live in your heart, to come out of the head space, simplify your karmic involvements with others, tidy up anything you might need to tidy up here on this planet. And when you've done that, you'll find you'll be more grounded in the love, and that will give you stronger power, stronger capacity to be able to focus and courage on burning off the rest of your karma, whilst you're being aware that a collapse is rapidly coming to this planet. Without the love, it's not possible to survive the collapse or even to make any sense of it, because the collapse is a manifestation of separation from love. I'm not talking about human love, I'm talking about separation from the source itself. Now, as there's a 26,000 year cycle, it seems that in between cycles, races are like bound to experience the separation and duality. Now, that is the case because that's what those souls have consented to. You know, when you come to this earth, there's always some agreement that you've made with your star being guides or your higher self to go into the world and experience duality. Now, duality is always in this world, and it will always be until the collapse, you know. Beware of this like New Age philosophy that tells you to become one with humanity, because within humanity is various different groups of souls, and some souls are going on to other planets, some souls have chosen to experience the collapse, some will go straight back to source. You know, there's a variety of destinations that people have once the collapse comes. So any kind of oneness with the human race in itself won't actually help you. What will help you is to develop a oneness with the love. Now, it's not something you can do in a New Age movement, it's only something you can do in yourself. And by returning to the oneness, I mean returning to your source nature, recognizing your source nature as love. The love comes from inside of you. There isn't any love you can find in the outer if you haven't found it inside yourself first. Now, when you discover this source love and you start to have experience with the star beings, you have a lot more energy, a lot more power and grounding and clarity. And the purpose of the ETs coming to you before the collapse is to accelerate your karmic burning processes. And once the ETs appear, if you totally surrender to the love of the ETs, they will guide you through the entire process until the end. And when you get to the end, you will have burned off your karma and you'll be spared having to witness the collapse. If you resist that love, then it's a different matter. So the truth of the matter is lots and lots of human beings will suffer greatly in the collapse and experience death solely because of separation from their source nature, separation from love. The collapse is the answer for those people because it brings the end to the illusion of duality, and it pushes them on to move closer and closer back to the source through the reincarnational wheel. You know, everyone will return to love in the end and be ascended. You know, the universe is set up like that. The only variable is it takes more time for some souls than it does for others. Now, if you don't want to have this slow journey through the reincarnational wheel and you want to burn everything off in this lifetime, I can testify the answer is love. There's also wisdom as well, because love is not sufficient in itself. There's a lot of wisdom, my discourses and the Voyager books and some of the things I've shared in the group. And wisdom is very useful. It helps you to understand and get clearer. It helps you to make progress. But on its own, it's not sufficient, and the same applies to love. You have to have both. So the idea in your spiritual practice is to tune in with yourself at regular intervals and see where you're at. Are you more kind of like wisdom orientated, or are you more love orientated? And once you see that, you can then take steps to balance out the side that's not fully developed. I can share myself, I'm working on love, like wisdom isn't a problem. It seems the wisdom aspect of being is pretty much mastered 100%. I understand the bigger picture and see everything coming and why it is, and I understand like higher dimensional wisdom, the evolution of life throughout the universe, and that can be very interesting for the mind sometimes to contemplate, because it's about higher truths and it will help you to come out of lower distortions and the stories of the ego. But all of that universal wisdom, amazing as it may seem or be, it's not useful to you without love. Without love, you can't do anything with it. You know, I could tell humanity all kinds of things about the nature of the universe, but if there isn't love in the people that are receiving the message, they won't be able to assimilate it, because love is the gateway to those higher planes. You may be shown a lot of things, so it's important to ground it in your life in love, and I mean in a grounded state of love with the source. I'm not talking about like hippie style love or like the new age kind of love. Yeah, everyone's going to be alright, let's just surrender to this idea of one love and then everything's going to be taken care of. Love does take care of everything, but you do have to work for it. That's the truth in my experience. You know, you can receive love from the universe, but you have to use that in your life. Use it as an energy source to burn off your karma and develop further. If you sit back and do nothing, love won't come in itself. Hence, there has to be action, and for there to be actions in your life, you have to have wisdom. So again, you have to have the love and the wisdom to continue to evolve ever upwards. And the two are kind of part of the same thing, really, because love and wisdom comes from source. It's two different characteristics, so it appears like that for a significant part of the journey. But the truth is, love and wisdom is really one of the same thing, and it's basically of source. It's just in this reality we may perceive wisdom and love to be two separate things. Once you've unified them, you're going to have strong experiences of love in a very integrated manner. It has the wisdom and it has the sustaining, caring love with it. Both will come from source simultaneously, and that love is your answer to the collapse, because in that love you understand why it is. In that love you'll be shown why it is by the ETs, and the very nature of love is to take care of a being that then follows that same love will help you to take care of the matter of the collapse without dying in it. If you had to die in a collapse, there'd be no purpose of the ETs coming like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years before the collapse and warning you about it. They're not going to warn you about it if nothing can be actually done. So once you start experiencing these visions or warnings on the ETs about the collapse, the first thing you want to do, instead of going into some fear or panic space, you want to be a witness to that. Just notice what you're witnessing and try not to be disturbed so much, and look at what's perceiving that, what can possibly perceive the death of a lot of humanity and the destruction of the planet and be unfazed by that. It's that unfazed aspect of that witness that you want to be able to identify in your being, because it's that witness state that is the source. That's where the love is. And when you can go into that more deeply, because you're less in your head and more in here, you'll probably still perceive the collapse visions or warnings from time to time, but there's going to be love there. And what does that love promise? You may wonder, well, it's promising salvation from the collapse, but in a philosophical and not a religious manner, because many religions will say, love Jesus Christ or love God, and then God will save you at the end. It's very kind of simplistic. It doesn't allow for much inner self-development, and thus that notion of the ascension is less useful. And the other reason why that is because you always have to go through some external religion to get a deeper truth, or you have to become subservient to it. And that, of course, is no good. You want to live from your own power and your own truth. So instead of this religious form of the ascension, you can have a more philosophical one and see it from a more grounded and sensible state. If you have love and wisdom, you'll understand that loving star beings will take some of us away prior to the collapse. But if you have the wisdom, you'll also understand exactly why that is, and it's a product of your evolution, self-development. It looks like you're given this love by Source. It looks like it's a gift, and on one level it is a gift, but also at the same time you do have to work for that in your being earlier on in the path. At the end of the path, the love is automatic 24/7. It's relatively easy. You can sit in a blissful state of being, be sustained, and also have a working life and feel the love of the Source. Before you get to that, when that love is a bit patchy, things can get very contracted, and those contractions you want to be surrendering into a greater love so that you can quickly burn off your karma. The reason why you need to do this reasonably quickly is because, in my understanding, you're going to need a few months of just being at the end of the karmic process. You don't want to burn off all your karma and then the next day there's a collapse and you have to very quickly go. You want to be in this grounded state between the end of your karma, or perhaps 99% of it, and the beginning of the collapse, because in that awareness, in that space, you can experience the love and live the love in the life that you're doing, whatever actions you may be doing. Yes, there'll be a lot of refinement because of conventional humanity and their pathways, but at the same time, so I was saying about actions, refining actions on this path, because of humanity, conventional humanity, and some of the choices they've made, you're going to find you need to refine some of your actions, but there will still be actions for as long as you're in a body, and it's those actions where you can live the love. Now, it doesn't have to be an outer thing. You can go and meditate in nature or walk with God in the mountains and have a very deep mystical experience. you can live the love that way in your body, and that is considered an action. You can also do something in the outer, which is also an embodiment of that lived love from the source. And it's that second thing that I just mentioned, which will cause me to say many things to humanity in the very near future, as in the next week or two. So what does this mean for all of our practices? Well, basically you want to ground the love in action in your body. Use your body whilst it's here to embody the highest vibration of source love, whether that be in your work, your calling, your relationships, or your connection with the higher beings and source. You want to live that love in the body as much as possible, because it's that love that will transmute the body. The knowledge and the wisdom in itself isn't enough. A human being could know everything there is about the clouds, everything I've written about in Voyager. They could read a whole lot and take all that in with their mind, but if it can't be lived in the body, it's basically useless information. So to bring the wisdom into the body, you live the love and you draw it right down, and you do that by having a strong power base. If you don't have a strong power base, you can't live the love so much. You'll kind of be patchy and unreliable. Sometimes you want to be in the source love, it's not there because there's some contraction or some disturbance. So it's very necessary to get the channel clear all the way down to the base chakra. Imagine a huge shaft or cylinder of rainbow light coming right down through your body. If you only know wisdom, it stops here. If you can't embody it in your interactions with others and live in truth, it'll get stuck here. But if you can do that and go deeper, so of course you want to live it in the heart as well. And power doesn't come from the heart as such. Love comes from the heart. Power comes from grounded love. So this big cylinder or shaft of light, however you receive your love from the higher source, it has to go down through your chakras into your heart and all the way down to the base, right into the earth. The love grounded into the earth before you can even leave the earth. Why is that? That's because most human beings are karmically attached to the earth. Simple analogy is, imagine a sphere kind of floating 2 or 3 feet above the surface, and it's chained to the ground, and it can't move, it can't go up, it's anchored to the earth. And many human beings are like this. It takes a lot of spiritual work to cut off those shackles and become a free spiritual being. Now once those chains are broken, you might perceive yourself as a sphere, but instead of moving the sphere, it's not attached to the earth anymore. You'll feel kind of very airy and spacious in your body because you're not plugged into the 3D density or the gravity anymore, and the energy is coming all the way down to the earth, and there's nothing in the way to stop it, there's nothing feeding from it, and there's nothing blocking it. Then, once you get to that stage, then the love that you'll experience is the most amazing love that you'll ever experience. You won't be able to say so much about it because it's intangible, it's not something you can put into words. But that love, it will become very realized in the body. It will cut your cord to earth. Once your cord is cut to earth, you're going. It's pretty much as straightforward as that. You'll notice the difference in your body. You'll hardly be able to eat anything. You'll feel very airy. You'll have a lot of mystical experiences. If you use some of the medicines, you won't need to have so much of the medicine to trigger a mystical experience. Generally, you'll become far more energized, and then you'll have power over the outer, because this is what you have to have, you know. When you want to leave this earth, you basically want to leave the karma. It's less about leaving the earth, but more about leaving a karmic story. It's going to cause the collapse of the earth. So you want to remove yourself from that as soon as possible. And the way you do that is you become powerful and transcendent above ordinary level karma. Then you're grounded in love. When you dream at night in that kind of state, you're going to be taken to different reality hubs, different worlds. You're going to meet star beings, and crossing over into the astral in dreams is going to be so pronounced and noticeable. It's going to be with you pretty much 24/7. You're going to remember your dreams very strongly, and you're also going to start to perceive that you're metamorphosing, changing into a higher being, translating. You know, ascension is also called translation in Christianity. It means that physical matter turns into God nature, basically, and that's exactly what's going to start happening to you. You're going to feel more of the source, the ET, or the God love. You're going to feel that more in your body. And when you have less karma, you will experience that translation. You'll become lighter. Sometimes you may perceive yourself in the astral as a winged being, with like arms up like this, like a big Y. And when you start to perceive these things, these are like major affirmations. You know, your journey is done on this earth. The karma is burned off. You know, stay in that strong and grounded space of love and just be in that and live it in the body for the remainder of the days that you have. You know, there may not be so much time left on this planet now. So the most important thing you can do is to live love. And I taught humanity is going to have a very strong loving theme, because the source wants you to talk to humanity about loving ETs coming to this planet and what's going to happen to this planet. Of course, it's going to be quite tough. So love is the most important thing. You know, if you can't figure out all the wisdom, if Voyager doesn't make total sense to you, you know, don't despair so much. You know, go back into it later after you've gone into a love space, and then it'll make more sense for you. It's the love that's your power. That's going to give you the transcendence to the collapse, and it's going to give you that very strong connection with star beings. In that love, you'll also remember who you are, not who you think you are. You thought you were a human being, you thought you were a mortal human being conditioned to die here. It's understandable. Pretty much every human being has that same expectation, but that's exactly what it is. It's an expectation of death. And then one's thoughts and actions then simply go where everyone else is going. In a strong love, you'll have an understanding of immortality. Immortality is a truth in that state, because love is enduring. Love doesn't go out into the universe and then come back to life. Love is always enduring. It's like perpetual. It never began, it never finishes, because that's the nature of Source or God. You know, it's inherently loving, and if Source or the God is inherently loving, then it follows all of its creations underneath it in the form of billions of different planetary civilizations. It follows that all of that will be created from a perspective of love. When you recognize the love of the creator or the creators, whether that's God or Source or your ETs for you, when you recognize that and take that in, receive it as a gift on the deepest level, you'll understand what immortality is about, you know, eternal awareness. You can't die in the awareness of love. If you have so much Source love in your being, you have so much awareness, you can't die. Now, the testament for that is in your dreaming practices. Now, usually when you go to sleep, you become unconscious, and then you have bits of dreams. Now, when you go to sleep and you're aware almost all of the time, and you'll find your awareness doesn't go out, it just goes into different forms. And the less unconsciousness you have in a dreaming or in your daily life, then it also follows you don't have to have the death process, because death process is simply the going out of awareness. When you're sustained by the source, it's the inexhaustible. No matter how much love or energy you need from it, you can have it unlimited, it won't stop. So that in itself tells you that past a certain point it's impossible to die, because if your awareness starts to deplete, the source will show you why that is. You'll take the action because you're karma free, or you've got less karma, you'll take the action to resolve it because you want to, and then the source will fill you back up again. You be in that state long enough and meditate on the collapse, you're going to be pushed into a process where you have to meditate on the awareness of death. You perceive the collapse is coming. What does that mean? Mass suffering, sickness and death. Now, when you perceive that in that source awareness, you'll also understand compassion. Compassion isn't about trying to save everyone or trying to save the human race. I've figured this out in my own process and with source over a period of time, but compassion is simply love, and embodied love for what is, love for all beings and respect for their choices. You can let someone experience their choices and be compassionate. There isn't really any other option. I've seen the collapse many times. In the beginning it's steely as hell, and might have got into a few judgmental spaces about it some time ago, but I've kind of had to burn that off and embody compassion, because that's the only option there is. I can't keep perceiving the end of humanity and so much suffering, not have any compassion there. Such a thing would destroy me in the end. So the source obviously helped me with this, and taught me how to be more grounded in love, how to be loving with others, and how to have a strong love and respect for my spiritual practice and the ETs. As a result, I understand compassion. It's respect for the choices of the human race, absence of judgment, and with a general feeling of goodwill, and knowing in the end humanity is going to be okay, but yes, it's going to go through a rough process. Once we become aware of that in the beginning, it's going to be painful, it's going to hurt a bit, it's going to be challenging. Have to ask ourselves, what is it? What is it that's painful about it? Is it death? Is it the collapse? Is it the loss of people? Is it the loss of loved ones? Whatever it is, there's always a cause in yourself that you can resolve and come into a deep understanding, so that you can see the collapse in a very undisturbed state, and only then we understand compassion to the master level, compassion for the human race, respect for its choices, whilst also honouring your choices as source and ascending. Sometimes people ask me about staying on and stay behind and help lots of people. This has happened from time to time. Something to tune into with your higher self, is the helping people a way of showing you your remaining karma, or is helping people because you just want to help people for its own sake, because you think you can help humanity? So again, there's some things to tune into with your practice. I've had to do the same on my path in this area, and then you can come in some deep understanding. You have more understanding like that. You perceive the collapse from a place of love. You experience some compassion for the human race. You're also going to perceive ET love, star being love in a very strong manner. And the only thing I'll say about that is, when you perceive that ET love in a very strong manner, your body, your energy body here, there will be like a big star in your being in the beginning, and maybe a speck, when people astral travel, sometimes as they go down to the size of a point and move through the universe, in the beginning it might just be a point star in the centre of your heart, and then later it's going to get bigger and bigger. You're going to have like a big, like star-like object in your energy body. You can sometimes perceive that in the astral, and that's like the awareness of the central galactic sun, where all of these ETs come from. And then you're going to experience big love. It may not make you a sentimental being, but you'll certainly experience very big love, and that big love will help you to make very big or difficult decisions that you may have to make in your life because of the coming collapse and necessity of burning off your karma. So you need the big love to help you burn off your karma. So it's absolutely necessary to learn how to receive it, and you don't need to be afraid. It can be a tendency to be afraid on this path, and understandably so, like a catastrophic collapse on the way. But again, the fear is only your core to that. Ask yourself, why are you afraid? Where's the fear? Fear can only exist where there's no love. Fill yourself up with love. There's no cause for fear. Whatever can happen will not disturb you. There's absolutely nothing that can happen on this planet that would disturb me, because I can see it from a greater love. So it's that love as your grounding, as your support, as your anchor. So it's something to continue to work on in your spiritual practice. You're asking yourself, how can I bring in more love to my being? Where am I resistant to love? Where is it I can't let go? Am I more attached to the mind, or am I more living in here? Is there more things I can work on with compassion and kindness and forgiveness? And are there more things to work with respecting free will and the choices of the human race? You pick any of those things I've said to reflect on in your practice and meditate on it, you'll come into a deeper understanding of love. That love is an amazing love, it's a transcendent love, it's the beginning of the arrival of loving ETs, and it's the love that's going to move you from this world by way of an ascension, and it's that same love that's then going to take you to a new world where you can experience that love all of the time, 24/7, and live it in your being. So there's an invitation here to come back into your hearts, no matter what you're seeing or feeling about the collapse, any disturbing visions or contractions you may be having in your life, or struggling with abundance, anything like that, bring it back to here, be here as much as you can, in silence, in reflection, in meditation, and receive power from the source. The source will give it to you. Just open, receive. As soon as you allow yourself to receive. If it's not there, ask yourself, where am I stuck in my heart? Am I holding on to any pain or hurt or old suffering or some bad stuff from a previous life? Whatever it is in there, you want to let go of it now, purify it, and it's not a complicated mental process to burn off karma. You simply open your love to source, be in that love, let the energy of source come through, and it will start pushing the karma out and showing you what needs to be done. Don't resist the process, don't fight it, don't judge it, just step into your source nature and allow the karmic healing to happen. You do it like that, it's going to be much quicker, much easier, far more joyful, and far less of a big deal. Burning off karma is just about pushing out lower energy. That's all it is. You push out the lower energy, you live in the higher energy, you live in love, and then you don't have to experience the lower path of the collapse of humanity. So that's all I'm going to share for now. So lots of love and healing from the source to all of you, and hope you're doing well, and speak to you again soon. Free Spirit. Yeah.